Well, welcome to the Inspiration Incubator, everyone. Today, we have a special treat for you, the one and the only Samson Logan. He has been high, he has been low, he has been roundabout and everywhere and in between because this man is moving, okay? He is just utilizing his gifts and his talents to empower and to inspire every day of his life. I had an opportunity to connect with him years ago through Jacarius Johnson's plays. You know, he's always has done something here in Houston. And because of social media, I've been able to just follow his dreams and watch him work. And when I tell you, you are in for a special treat because we've had some of the ladies, some of the men, a little bit of everybody in between waiting on this interview. So Samson, welcome to the
Absolutely.
Incubator.
It's good to be here on the incubator. I'm ready to make it happen.
Hey.
Absolutely. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. And Happy New Year to you and your beautiful family. Yes. So as we move forward, let's take it back to a time when you were influenced by favor in your life since a child.
Yes. Well, influence. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. As far as being influenced, you know, I really never had nobody in my family like that was into entertainment or music. But, you know, as a preacher's kid, you have to learn to do a little bit of everything. You know, you got to take the offering, you got to preach, you got to play, you got to sing. So even when you don't know how, you develop those skills, even if you don't want to develop them. So I didn't really necessarily love it in the beginning because it's almost like you had to. So it was almost like a punishment. But, you know, through my mom, she connected her and Shirley Caesar were kind of like best friends. So as a child, we used to go to our crusades and every year we'd do our things. So I just fell in love with seeing the group in the dressing rooms, in their preparation stage, getting their uniforms, getting on stage and to see Shirley command the crowd. And, you know, it could be people crying and it changed the whole atmosphere of the building. I fell in love with it. I said I had to have it. I used to stay on the side of the wings and watch Shirley, and she used to kill it. I mean, on one side she was in a row with the Winings, and the Winings killed the place. It was in Chicago. But Shirley, she was so genius with it. She was able to go in and she said, "We're gonna go." I heard her talk. She said, "We're gonna go control this crowd first, and then we're gonna bring them down to our place." Because the crowd was on 10. Don't leave me. If you ever, you know, Wine Marvin was "Don't leave." And so she came out there and she changed the atmosphere. She went, "Petals from this faded rose is all." Yeah. And she changed the whole energy, and it was crazy. And I said, that's what I want. I want to be able to encourage folks, and you can see their faces because people like to go and jam and groove, but people are hurting. So they need medicine that we have, and to see her give that medicine and see people's faces and the tears begin to fall and she go into control. I said, this is what I got to do. Even seeing the band. So every year I went and so I started traveling with her on the summers, even when I was in high school without my mom. So I used to go down for the full summers. So I'll start working for selling her records. I was traveling with the band the whole summer. I would travel, I would sell the records while they're on stage. And then eventually when I became a senior in high school, right after I graduated, I moved there, and one of the background singers missed the gig, and he didn't show up, the tenor, and I knew all the parts because I've been traveling with them for years.
Come on.
So she's like, "Yo," I was like, the 5 heartbeats. I know all the parts, you know. So she was like, "No, you don't." So I went there, I killed it, and guess what? I started traveling. I traveled for 6 years. Caesar singer for 6 years, and it just went on from there. Left there, went overseas. Then I got with Tyler Perry, and it's just, you know, it goes on from there. But that's the kind of the start.
Wow, you know, that was a lot. And
it was.
It was a beautiful pathway for a young man such as yourself to transition into that other side of his gift. You know, yes. You may have started off in the church and that was the seed that was planted in you, and then it just sprouted up. And when someone,
absolutely.
I always tell people the first rule of leadership is to show up. You
absolutely.
showed up, and because you showed up, God used you, and that was an opportunity for you.
Absolutely, availability.
Yes. So as you were moving forward and you're you're on stage, during these plays, where do you get the confidence and the courage to work with people like Victor Fox, to work with people like Tyler Perry? I mean, that can be intimidating. Where do you, because you come across so confident,
Yeah, yeah. And it's a lot of time with all of us is fake, but I'm gonna say fake is the front, because I think we all have that level of
Nervousness.
insecurity, nervousness. I think, and little, it's gonna be good this time. Will I crack?
Right,
Will I slide? Because you've seen, when you've been on the road so many years, you've seen it all.
right.
People fall, people forget their lines. This might be your night. I think what it is, I think growing up, doing it as a young kid, seeing it be done,
Mhm.
being around people that you're familiar with, being around like so-called celebrities. Well, I can say so-called celebrities, being around celebrities and
Yeah.
status, people that were
I
status
know what
and
you meant,
stature.
though. I know what you meant, not to cut you off. I know exactly what
Mhm.
you meant, because to
Yeah,
you, they're just everyday people, because that's the circle that you're in, and you love them, you
absolutely,
have relationships with them, but you understand
absolutely,
that people who don't have those relationships with them, they are
right.
seen as celebrities. And I had to learn that through some of the friendships
Hmm.
that I have. I would have people
Yeah,
reach out to me and say, "Hey, can you ask this person do this, do that?" And I had one of my celebrity friends say, "Leona, this is for you. You got to understand,
right,
100 people every day asking me for
absolutely,
a favor." I was like, "Oh,
right.
okay." I had to get into reality. So I understand you, brother. So you hanging out with the celebrities. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So when you're around that type of level of people, it's like you just said, it's like regular. It's like, these are my people. It's not really that type of. So people would come in that understudy, I have to show them and train them. They would be so intimidated and they would lose their lines because they're enamored. But it's like,
Ooh,
this is you. They're on
yeah,
the same stage as you. So it's like, I mean, I'm up here just like you up here. So I'm gonna shine.
come
So
on.
I mean, I've gotten into it a few celebrities because they felt like I should bow and I should be beneath and I should level down. And I don't believe that. I believe God gave us all our level. You're gonna have to bring it. If you want to shine, you're gonna have to bring it. And because I'm gonna bring it with you. I remember one time being on stage with Brian McKnight. We had the singing competition trying to win the Fox on the show with Chikarius. Um, and it's like, you're not gonna kill me. I'm gonna get you. We gonna go at it. So it was going at it. And it was almost like he tell him he needs to, play the role of being beneath. And I don't know. Jakari's like, no, you have to bring it. You got all these Grammys, all these hit records. Bring it. So I think you just have to have a level of confidence. And I tell people every day, God made us unique. We're special. It's one of you. So you can't go trying to be somebody else. Come as you, be the best you can be, and discover who you are, and
Yes.
and stand in your position with God. Greater is He that's within me than He is in the world. So I believe God put me here for a reason, and if I didn't deserve to be here, I wouldn't be here.
Yes.
So I'm going to give you my best, and I think that's kind of, and I handle myself as a guy, as the guy.
Yes. Yes.
So I mean, even though there's not no arrogance, because I mean, I think it's just a confidence thing. I'm grateful
That's
because
right.
He's always provides for those who are grateful. I mean, I'm saying, so I'm grateful that and every time I show gratefulness and I appreciate them, more open doors begin to fly open. And so I think it's all about your spirituality. If you're grateful and show God, wow, this is you.
Yes.
It ain't me, it's God. It's in me that when I have to get in these positions, I can remember being behind the door at plays. And it's a sold out house. And I know I'm about to go in and I'm waiting for the line to come in if I go in. And I'm like, wow, when I open this door, it's 3,000 people there. It's Kodak Theater in LA. But
Woo!
you start to get that thing, but you have to shake it down. No, let's play it like we did at rehearsal.
My
It's a
Lord.
third wall. It's just
Come on.
just us on stage. You could,
Mm.
but if you start focusing on that crowd, you'll start seeing individual faces, and it will throw you all the way off. So it's to the audience, but it's really to your stage. You want to keep that third wall up, especially if you're intimidated, because them faces, you look out on the stage, you see celebrities looking at you, you're gonna be like, whoa. And
Right.
then all of a sudden you done lost your lines, you done lost your place, and you done lost a gig. And you
Nuggets.
done lost your gig, right?
Yes, yes. You are dropping some gold nuggets for people who are creatives, who love theater and the arts and music and all of those things.
Love it.
Because
Love it.
one of the key words that you said was gratefulness.
Oh
We
yeah. Oh
we
yeah.
have to be grateful every day, every day of
Every
my life.
day.
I am grateful for everything, large,
Yes.
small, and in between.
Right.
So this is my first interview of the not necessarily of this year, because some, videos I record,
Right. 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 Hmm.
but it's the first one since, the passing of Sidney Poitier. And
Wow. Wow.
when I think of greatness, when I think
Yes.
of a pillar of strength in this
Yes.
world, in the African American community, someone
Right.
who has broken boundaries just in every arena that I can
Right. Right.
imagine,
Right.
because your spirit and your gift is
Yes.
used to bring
Yes.
people together. And
Right.
that's what he did. I admire him for, you know, just his poise and his
Right. Right.
grace,
Right.
you know,
Yes.
so much wisdom beyond
Yeah.
anything that people can comprehend when you consider his upbringing that began in Cat Islands and transition into him coming here to the United States of America and not even knowing
Absolutely.
how to read and still finding a way. And I say all of
Wow.
these things to say,
Wow.
when I think of him and I think of the glass ceilings that he has literally shattered, gift.
That's what that's part. That part.
Come on. And then you have people like Samson Logan. That's
Hey,
come on. That's
that
coming.
wouldn't even be here.
Come on. That is
Yes.
just on
Yes.
their way because of
Absolutely.
someone like him. And I say that to
Right.
say, I have seen your
Hmm.
poise and I have seen your grace. And I've
Wow.
seen people actually captivated by you, to be honest.
Wow.
You know
Wow.
what I mean?
Wow.
What,
You're
through
right.
your work, through your
Yeah.
work, through your words, through your gentleness at times that you have and
Yes.
that you even convey when if somebody sits and they watch your music video, favor, just
Yes. Exactly.
the way you directed that particular video. Give
Absolutely.
us some information, tell us how that came about and why favor, because when you say grateful, that's
Right.
a seed that people need to plant daily in their
Ab-
lives so that other things can
Absolutely.
grow, such as favor. So how did that come about?
Wow. That's well. First of all, that Sidney Poitier, I don't want to run by that. That was
Come
so
on,
powerful
man, come on.
because what the things he did, legendary is the word. When I think about him, I think of he is a legend. I mean, one broke the glass ceiling. He trailed. He paved the way for me and paved the way for a lot of people to come and do it behind him. Sammy Davis Jr. If it wasn't for these guys,
Come on
if it
now.
wasn't for their excellence and their persistence and their consistency through a lot of stuff. See, we think we dealing with stuff. Well, you talking about 50 years ago, they were dealing with so much, not just the Jim Crow and the controversies and not being able to perform on certain stages and being called out their names, not being able to ride the bus, have to change clothes in the mop rooms. And when I talk to my dad now and I begin to see he paint these pictures, it's like they had to go through so much, but they had a love and a gratefulness in their spirit that they continue. I mean, their mission was not just for themselves, because his work is well done. He's in glory now. But
Mm,
he did so much work here with
yeah.
Raising in the Sun and him and all of the movies they put up.
Look to the
But
field. Come on, somebody.
it made it where we could do our thing. Now we can
Yes.
go on these stages. Now we can go to Carnegie Hall. Now we can go to these all across the country and travel. And I just tell people, don't take it for granted that is cool like that. You first of all, just to be in this building is a blessing.
Come
Just
on.
to be able to perform in front of these audiences, they be in these hotels.
Yes.
And you can, I mean, it's like I hear stories how they emptied the pool of water when she tucked her foot in the water. I think it was his these people they did it for us. So I
Yeah.
just want our people, our young people, don't forget to be grateful. Not just the dollars. Just don't make it about dollars. Make it about the love of the craft. And if you love the craft, God will open the doors for the finances.
Come on,
Okay, let's get the favor.
well, let's get the favor. And that was beautiful.
Favor.
I just
Yes.
just needed to out of respect. I just would be
Yes.
beyond
Yes.
myself without even mentioning his name. And in due season, in due time, because I have commitments, I'm going to honor him and honor my
You have
family.
to.
And I'm just so
That's your
grateful.
family.
Thank you.
And again, condolences because it was your family.
Yes,
So
sir.
that
Yes,
just to be
sir.
part of that legendary legacy is awesome.
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
when we started Favor, I was pinned to do another record 2 years ago, right at 2020. And what happened was when the pandemic struck, everybody began to fall apart. First of all, Kobe Bryant passed away. It was almost 2 years ago this month. And then after Kobe, it was like the pandemic hit. And then after that, the George Floyd thing happened all within like a 3-month period. And the country was in an uproar. I mean, everything was going crazy in this pandemic, and people can't touch each other. Now we're locked in, and people are scared, and people talk about the end times. And it was just crazy. And so many deaths, and you're seeing trucks loads of bodies, and there are people. It was so scary. So, I mean, and people got to understand what you hear becomes your reality. Faith comes by hearing.
Come
So
on.
I was like, we have to change the narrative. We have to change the atmosphere. So I talked to my dad and the Lord, and I was like, yo, he's like, we need to put some music out there that make people speak into the atmosphere. So I'm like, so let's put some out there. Let's start a conversation. So we change the narrative. Instead of putting a love song, I would get that. Let's do something that people, we need some medicine out here. So we start talking about favor. And I believe if you start, even unconsciously, if you sing in favor, I believe you bring it into your atmosphere, not even knowing, because your power of life and death is in your mouth. And you speak the right words, you create something in your atmosphere, even without knowing. We could be ignorant to it. But if we speak in the right thing, like if you speak in negative, it's going to be negative in your home. But if you start speaking love and start speaking joy and prosperity, and it begins to become your reality. So I said, let's put something out real simple on a nice drum beat. Like some, I want people to feel like they're on vacation, even though they're home. There's a little, so we start putting it together, real simple, not a whole lot of backgrounds. We just wanted they could sing along. Supernatural favor, one single visit from you in my life has been shifted, because we need a shifting. And so I began this, and it just took off. I mean, honestly, the radio started loving it. It was all going across the country. It started charting. I was like, wow. So God is doing some things even through this record. And when we did the video, I said, we want a visual manifestation of favor. So we went to Big Bear. And we went to Big Bear Lake. We had 3 locations: the lake, we went to the desert, and we went to the forest. I'm like, all iconic places. And the forest they were recorded in the forest, it was nobody there. It was like God had set the stage for us. My voice was bouncing off the trees. It was amazing. The visuals, I knew it was God. I mean, I'm saying, it's like, so it was already successful without even being out, because God did it. And again, it goes back to being grateful. And the more you're grateful, he opened up the next door, and then the next door, and then the next door. And it ain't about talent and technique, because there's a lot of talented people. There's a lot of great looking people. There's a lot of good looking women and men. But it's about the favor that's on your life. The doors that are open because of your gratefulness. And God will he began to open doors. And it was so amazing. We changed the conversation. From there, it led to the Favor Fridays, because we wanted to start a conversation. And everybody was getting excited about Favor Fridays. Marvin Sapp came on. I mean, all the cats was coming. Yes, it was good, because it was just about a conversation into the atmosphere. And Mike Murdoch came on. We had a lot of cats came on. It was so amazing. To now, we about to move into season 2 this year, Favor Friday, on another level.
Come on.
And with backing and stuff. So God is just opening to, and it's nothing that we planned to pin. God opened these doors as you move forward and obey the word of God, obey his will. I mean, it's like following his purpose, because we all have our own plans. But God has a set of plans that's way better than ours. So I started yelling back, forget this talent stuff, God. What's direction to go now? What do you want me to do? Because and that's a lot of times we don't do that. Going to the new year, I have my resolutions, but God, what do you want me to do? What's the best move for me? Because you know better than me. You already been in the new year. You already see it. So it goes on and on. Just a little bit of,
the words. It's the song is very soothing. The beat is really nice. And I remember initially when you shared it, it was amazing to see that just one of your videos with Favor it's over 500,000 views. I mean,
absolutely.
Off, so fast. It was like the speed of light. And
it was great.
Just to know,
even in Africa, Asia, they loving it right now. To date, it's like 1.5 million on both videos, with the lyric video and the regular video. So it did really well.
I tell you, I'm so proud of you, and I'm grateful that you have allowed God to use you despite
Yes,
anything that has come your way. You are still
yes,
here. People can't tell by looking at you how old you
yeah,
may be. Everybody trying to figure it out. But you have been in the game a long time, and
yeah. It's
you've
been
always been approachable, always just
yes.
a great man, great family man, and just a beautiful person. So, I just commend you for all that you're doing. What's next for Samson Logan? What can people
Wow.
look forward to? Like, I know there may be some things you may not be able to talk about, but
Right.
Favor Fridays, give us a little,
Yes.
what's going on? I know
What?
you're traveling all the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm excited because this is the season. I mean, you know what I mean? And I think your season starts when you make up your mind that I'm doing it. It's time. Because you have to have first of all, beyond gratefulness, faith without works is dead. So you can have all the faith you want to.
Come
I
on
mean, they
now.
say demons believe, but they tremble.
Come
So you
on.
have to make a move. So I believe God is about to do something incredible. But I
Yes.
think we have to put it out there. And it used to be intimidated by the scope of the size of things. But now I'm like, let's go for it.
Yeah.
God can do anything. But if we really believe, let's do it. So I got some things I really don't want to trouble right now, but there's
Right.
some things I'm putting out there this year that's going to be incredible. Of course, we got season 2 of Favor Fridays coming. We got some TV shows that are going to be coming. We have some commercials that this year is going to be incredible.
Oh, now
Um,
it's gonna be a
music,
good year.
music. See, here's the thing, and this is the first time I'm sharing with anybody. With this music I got coming now. See, I don't like to say myself as a gospel artist. I've been an artist for them years. I've been
Right.
over 25 years. I've been doing it. So I got a music that's focusing on relationships. It's not R&B music. It's not a cheap way to do R&B because I've done R&B. This is just I'm doing my own thing. I have my own label now. Favor came my first song on my own label. God is opening
Congratulations.
doors. That it did a stellar nominated record.
Yeah.
And now this record is going to be a big record. It's focusing on relationship because I believe ministry is beyond the organ in the church and
Yeah,
preaching and tuning. I
absolutely.
believe, and people relationships are breaking up by the droves. I mean, it's like a 70 to 80%
Come on
divorce
now.
rate. And then the young guys are not being trained how relationship works. I mean, talking people out their name. I think we need to go back to the basics. I mean, we need to go
Come
back to
on.
romance and
Yes,
flowers. And I
yes.
mean, it's cool to be like now it's like again, now it's cool to be healthy. But now it needs to be cool to treat the women right and to be the right man and the
Come on
roses and the
now.
singing and the candies. And we look
Yes.
back like as a relics, but that's where it needs to go. Even Tank, had a conversation with him. He's trying to go back and bring the R&B thing back.
Come
And
on, bring it
but
on.
it's
That's what we
yeah,
need.
but it's a spirit that needs to be broken,
Yes.
because and once people begin to hear
Woo.
it and these young boys begin to see it, they need examples. You need to see how it's done. And when you see how it's done and you hear how it's done, you're like,
Mm.
maybe I should do it that way because honestly, it's terrible now how it didn't went the other way.
Oh
But
my.
this record's coming. It's crazy, right? But this record coming is called You. And I'm telling you, the video's already shot. I had one of the best directors in the country do it for me. It's gonna be big. I'm just waiting a couple particulars. I could have been put it out, but we want to put it out the right way financially because
Right.
people put records out every day and for it just be on social media and go away. We don't want to do that. We want to do it the right way because the reason for putting it out because we wanted to be heard. We want the people to hear. We want the people to know that there is a different way to go, and we want to represent that way. And I'm just encouraged, and I really am focused because I want this label to work. I want to brag about God because I'll be like, well, I did the major labels. It
Mhm.
was cool, but I believe I can do it with my own label,
Right.
ownership. You know what I mean? I want to own it. And it's not just to be me own it, it's about testifying that God did it because you have to talk about his goodness
Come
and make
on
known his deeds. It
now.
always go back to him because when it begins to be about you, then you fall off. And I've been in this business long enough to know that it ain't got nothing to do with me. It's all about the mercy and the grace of God
Yeah.
that gives opportunity
Come
every
on.
morning. So I'm excited about what's coming. And I'm telling you, it's gonna be a good year. I'm excited.
Good, good. That,
Hmm.
that was just amazing, and I appreciate you sharing and giving us that tidbit about you. So y'all keep your eyes
Absolutely.
on it,
It's
because I
gonna
know
be
that's
bad.
gonna be fire.
It's
But
gonna
back
be fire.
to what you were saying about the young men, okay? Because
Mhm.
I am an educator, and I'm gonna tell you right now, these young people are going through a lot and they're dealing with a lot. And some of
Wow.
the greatest thing, the greatest opportunity that you could give a
Right.
person in some instances is to be their example. And so
Absolutely.
to
That's
be
it.
their example. And
Hmm.
when you think of the mindsets and the trouble that is coming their way just through their decision making, through
Right.
self-sabotaging moments,
Yeah.
their inability to hear or to be respectful at times. Not everybody, because we have a lot of young people that are also doing some amazing things now. But
Absolutely.
we're
Yes.
talking
Of course.
specifically to the ones who are struggling.
Yeah.
It's nothing like men showing up and showing out. See, I grew
Hmm.
up with a few good men. All right. I had a granddaddy, I had a daddy, and I had
There
a
you go.
two of uncles. All right. And
Right.
it's just
Right.
something that you get from a man that you don't get from a woman.
Absolutely.
Something that you get. And one of the first things that you get from a man is your identity. You
Identity.
recognize who you are because of him,
Absolutely.
and without that, without our men stepping up, where's the next generation going to be? You know,
Where they're gonna be.
where they
Yeah.
can be, what are
It's
they going to do? And I'm gonna tell you, the music that they listen to is powerful. I
yeah.
actually shared a clip of my daddy and I when I brought him here to Houston. Unfortunately,
Right.
doctors wrote him off. He had heart failure, and I just
Wow.
sat with him and we just sang songs that whole night.
Yes.
Gosh, a
Yes.
little clip of that. That was a real moment. I had a hair scarf on. I don't even care. It was about
It don't matter.
it was about sharing with these young people, because even with these young
Yeah.
people who are struggling, they need these manly examples. They just need to see how you just connect with, if you don't have a daddy, moms, somebody get a
Right.
mentor in that child's life, get an
Absolutely.
uncle, get on some educational platforms and see what you can pull from men who are moving in the direction that you want to go
Right.
into. I never met Dr. Martin Luther King. However, he has been a
Yes.
mentor of mine for years, because through his
Absolutely.
writings and through his movies and, just
Yes.
different things that people have imparted. That's how I learned, and
Right.
that's how I developed. And so I commend you and a few good brothers who are trying to bring that excellent music back, honey, because
Absolutely.
it's going to be
Absolutely. It's
uh,
gonna be fire. It's gonna
come
be
on.
fire. And it's time, you know. I mean, like again, when you said that the examples, there's no examples. There's not a lot of fathers in homes no more. So cats and the young guys don't even know which way. They don't know how to do it. So we have to be examples, not just your own kids, but your
Yeah.
kids in the neighborhoods, kids in the country. I think we have a responsibility as artists, a responsibility as mentors and pastors, preachers, and stars like yourself. We have to show these people how to do it, because they really don't know. And it is their fault, but it's not their fault, because
Right.
if all they see is what's on these hip hop videos and they think that's the way to go, and they're dying and they're getting shot in the streets and they're going to jail, nobody, the graduating rate is so bad. It's just, come on, it's just scary to me. So we have to be a voice. We
Yeah.
have to change the narrative. And again, we have to give them something to hear. Faith without hearing. I mean, faith come by hearing. So it comes through the
Word
ears.
of God.
So I need to give us something. And then not just through the ear, I want them to see visuals of us doing the right thing, So I just want to encourage all your people, all your followers. I mean, God has told us things to do. He's given us promises and giving us dreams and aspirations, and it's been taking years and years and years have gone by, and it seemed like things are bad and so dark. But
Yeah.
the season of revelation and the season of manifestation is two different times. Season of revelation is when you get that dream, when you get the message.
Come on
But
there.
it could be a few years before the manifestation of that dream comes. But in the meantime, we have to hold fast and stand fast and lift up each other, keep us iron sharpens iron, because the manifestation time is coming. Is this, matter of fact, this is the year. I mean, God has been waiting on us, waiting on God, but no, I'm waiting on you to believe and trust me. And when you believe is your time, you're gonna go for it. And I believe we have a lot to do with our season. We talk about waiting on God. No, God is waiting on you to believe strong enough to
Come
put your
on
belief
there.
to action. You have to put that belief to action. And once you believe, I trust God. Okay, let me get busy. God gave me this dream. Let me get busy. I'm about to be a baker. I'm looking for a building. I'm gonna be a writer. Let me go for another computer. You have to put foot forward, and God will bless the works of your hand. But I tell my kid all the time, you have to give him something to bless. If you're not doing nothing, you can't expect him to bring nothing while you're sitting at the house in your pity party. Get up from there, clean up,
Come
do
on.
what you God told you to. Because I've even told. I was talking to Warren Campbell. I call myself retiring from singing and all this. Guys, I ain't told you retire. You
Okay.
gotta tell you to do. I don't care. It's been a while, yeah, but you get your butt back up to do what I told you to do.
Yes.
Because we'll feel like it ain't happening. The time has passed, and there's a new music out. No, I was talking to a pastor this week, a big friend of mine, big pastor, and I'm surprised that pastors say this. I'm just burnt out with that stuff. Even pastors need to be encouraged.
Yes.
We have to stay together because it's rough out here. And people feel like we always have water to pour into other people. We need to be poured into sometimes because it's difficult out here. But I'm telling you, the season of manifestation is here. We have the revelation. I mean, God blessed us with that. But now it's time for that manifestation to establish itself and show itself. And I'm telling you, this year's happening. I'm excited.
That's a word. And I agree with you. I'm in agreement with that word. I receive it. That's a revelation. And I want some people to know you can't give up, because that's basically what you tell them. You can't give up. You told them to put action and back it up. You have to move forward. You can't take these gifts and these talents and sit on them, because if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Somebody else is gonna come along and God is going to bless them to do what you were gifted to do. But because you were gifted and they took action, those are the people who reap what they
and it's somebody of lesser skill than you.
Come on,
but they had the persistence and the consistency to move forward, and God will open a door because the place is ready to be taken. But if you don't take it, it's going to be filled by somebody.
Yes.
So don't let your place be taken by somebody else. People say, you can't lose nothing. What's for you is for you. That's true. But what you don't want to do is lose a great opportunity talking about what's for me is for me. No, you better go get it, or you'll lose a greater opportunity. You'll get an opportunity, but that particular opportunity is going to be filled if you don't stand up and do what you're supposed to do. God is merciful. He's always going to bless with something different. But I want the best.
Yes.
So we didn't wait. We didn't start long enough. Let's get that. I don't want the secondary blessing. I want the first. Let's get it.
Come on now. So it's something that you said, and I'm not going to be too much longer, but it's something that you said that took me back to when I think about favor. I think about, because you were talking about manifestation and revelation. Right. And so it takes time for things to come to pass, to the revelation of it to be revealed, And when I think of favor, I think about Joseph,
Absolutely.
And I think about how he wasn't put in prison once. He was put in prison multiple times.
Right, exactly.
Years for him to become number 2 of a whole nation.
Of a whole nation.
On the continent of Africa in Egypt. Okay.
Yeah, right.
You need that geographical lesson.
Yeah.
When you read your Bible, understand where Egypt is. It's in Africa.
Okay. Africa, as in Africa, right?
So come on now. And so he was second in command, but what did he go through prior to getting there?
Absolutely.
Along the way. And did he give up in terms of, doing his best when he was given an assignment? No, he kept moving, he kept pushing, he kept praying. And one day God just said, now you're ready. Now you're humble enough. Now you're grateful enough. Now the time is right. Now the time is for it to be revealed.
You know what? That's funny you said 1 Peter 5:10. After you suffered a while, the Bible says, after you suffered a while, God himself is going to come and strengthen you. People need to understand about favor. Favor is always connected to your function.
Yes.
And function is always tied to a fight. So no matter what you're going, so when you believe it and know it, it's my function. I'm about to get into it. Now you have knowledge. That gets the devil upset, because as long as you ain't doing nothing, he don't bother you. But once you find out my function is part of my destiny, you say, I'm about to move on my function. Now the fight comes, because now he don't want you to move to that place, because if you're in that place of destiny, your faith is on 10. And your life is going to be example for your family, for your church, for your city, for your community. Yeah. So you're bringing a whole lot of people. See, this success of favor and anything success I get is not just about me. It's about my son. It's about my daughter. It's about my city. It's about, because they're watching. You have thousands of people, and now with social media, you have millions of people watching you. and they're wanting you to fall. But the best thing you can do is succeed and make God look good.
Yes.
And God will, I'm excited. And my main thing now, honestly, I want the manifestation of thing to bust, not just for me. I can't wait to get it. The night I get the award, I'll be like, yo, I got the award. And this is the manifestation of God. The
Yes.
20-year overnight success. The community think is overnight success. No, we've been in
Come on now.
we've been in a storm. The 20-year overnight success, but God don't lie. We lie. We stop believing. And I think a lot of time it takes longer because we lose faith. And faith without works is dead. So when we lose faith, we lose momentum and we stop moving forward. And we stop moving forward, the progress hinders. So the devil sometimes know he can't really stop us, but if he can hinder you, the time has a way of messing with your faith. So it goes on and on. We just got to be encouraged. We got to stick together. We got to keep pushing people, doing what you're doing, letting people know, no, you're on the right track. Keep moving. I know it's difficult, and the more difficult it is, that means the devil is fighting you because you're close.
Come on, somebody. And you have you have to know who you are in this world. And if you're unsure, people have to take it back to the basics. Go and pray.
Basics.
Go and pray. Ask your Heavenly Father to direct you on the right path, and He will. See, so we can't be afraid to pray. We can't be afraid to say, I don't know if this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know if this is who I'm supposed to be connected with. Let me reevaluate. Let me self-evaluate. Let me see where I am. Take an assessment. And if God tells you to keep going, because He will talk to you. You just got to listen. He'll talk to you.
Listen.
If you need to keep going, keep going. If you need to go right, go right. If you need to go left, because we got to think about what happened with Abraham when he was getting ready to take his son to be a sacrifice. Right. If he wasn't listening, then what would have happened? He would have took his son out of here, but God was testing his faith. So he had to hear where he was hearing. He had to be able to say, well, you know, God did tell me I'm going to sacrifice my son, but if he just closed his ears off, his son would have been sacrificed, but God provided a ram in the bush. So he had to be what? He had to be all ears. He had to
and you have to ready. Exactly. And you have to be ready for a now word. Because if you wasn't listening now, people are still stuck in the traditions. And if he hadn't listened to God now, he would have killed his son. But God spoke right then and said, oh, I got something different for you. And we're not listening now. We got to give some people to listen. God wants us to, I preached this sermon on New Year's Eve. I know we got to go. But it was about frequency. Yes. And back in the day, I told the people, I said, listen, you on frequency, sometimes you got to turn the radio, get to the right station, hear it clearly. And for the young people that don't know nothing about radios, is when you got your bars on your phone, when you got all your bars, you hear it clearly. So God is waiting for us to be on the right frequency with Him so we can hear Him clearly, so we can get to that place. We have to get back to prayer. We have to talk to Him every day. He's a jealous God. He wants your communication as a relationship. So once we get in that frequency, this year is going to explode. I believe this COVID thing is because God is upset with us. I mean, it's like if my people turn, we have to turn from our way. Yeah, and we have to do something.
We're not in control like we thought we were. We are not in control.
No.
We can't control it.
We can't. It got some unseen thing that's messing us up, that got us all in a disarray. We can't even see it, but it's there. That's how powerful God is. So come on, man. Let's get back to the basics. Pray, seek God, trust Him, have fun, love your family, respect your people, respect your elders, respect the women. Let's get back to that. And then I think things can go back the right direction.
Come on. I can't thank you enough because, you know, I know we're both on a schedule. I cannot thank you enough for just coming on today and just being a blessing.
This is great.
To everybody. Please give them your social media information so they know where to follow you, so that they can just continue to plug in and to get energized from all of this positivity.
Absolutely. It's at Samson Logan, Samson, like in the Bible. Logan, Logan, everywhere on all the platforms. You can get the music, Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, everywhere they sell digital music at Samson Logan. And support the vision and follow me, because we're going some places this year, and I would love to take you along and maybe get some information, some insights, some inspiration to take your vision to the next level also.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Samson. We appreciate you. And you know, I'm there cheering you on. Definitely.